Did you ever get counted out as a child? The way a finger goes round the circle, from chest to chest, one on every word, and everyone goes still and hushed and waits to see whose chest it lands on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ready or not, here I come. And whoever didn't hide is no fault of mine. A quiet little song, that one. You needn't even sing it. It sings itself, rocks you off to sleep on its own. Lie back a while and listen. I'll tell you about a camp where they never once finished counting that rhyme to the end. It's still standing, that camp, out past the town in an old pine wood where they've long since stopped bringing children. A warm summer night, the very middle of July. The cabins are wooden, the paint peeling, the windows broken here and there still whole and clouded with dust. The yard's grown waist high, but you can still make out the paths, laid down long ago in whitewashed brick set on edge in a herringbone. And in the middle of the yard, the assembly square. A bare parade ground, a flagpole with no flag, and on the little brick wall behind it, a star, faded to pink, near enough white by now. A rusted bugle hangs from a nail by the door of the first cabin. Touch it, and it makes no sound. It played its reveille and its lights out long ago, played out every last one of its calls, and hangs there quiet now. And inside the cabins, the beds. Iron bunk beds, 2 tiers, painted that same camp blue that's gone now to streaks of rust. The wire springs sag, the mattresses are gone, carried off. But lie down on the bare springs, on the bottom bunk, and close your eyes, and you can hear, up above, on the top tier, a little creak, as though someone up there had turned over in their sleep. A warm wind comes in at the broken window, stirs the cobwebs, brings in the churr of the grass, the rustle of the leaves, and up above, again, that creak. Don't look up there, just listen. So then, long, long ago, in the last shift of the last summer, the children in this camp were playing hide and seek. Ordinary hide and seek of an evening right before lights out. The counselor was still calling from the porch. Last round, and off to your bunks. One boy was the seeker. Which one, no one remembers now, and it hardly matters. What matters is that he shut his eyes, pressed his forehead to the warm brick wall by the square right under the star, and began to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the rest scattered every which way, into the bushes, behind the cabins, under the porches, into the woodshed, into the undergrowth, each to their own place. And they hid well. So well that the counselor called lights out before the seeker had found a single one. And here, listen now, this is the very heart of it. The game was never closed, never played out.
The seeker took his forehead from the wall, turned round, and the yard was already empty, and the counselor was chasing them all off to bed, and he never did find the last of them, never tagged them, never said the words you meant to say. 1, 2, 3. All who hid, come out, I give up, the game is over. Never said them, just went off to bed. And the ones never found, why, they stayed hidden, for good. And the game stayed hanging, unclosed, like the bugle on its nail. It played its lights out, but its last call it never played. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ready or not, here I come. Now, about you. Picture it. You stayed the night in this camp, wandered in, that is, out of curiosity, to shine a torch about, to poke around the empty cabins, the way people do.
The dark came on quickly. You picked the first cabin, the one with the bugle, spread your sleeping bag on the bare springs, and lay down. And all would have been well, only over your bunk, on the whitewashed crossbar, someone long ago had scratched a single rule with a nail in a child's crooked hand. After lights out, do not leave the cabin. You read it, gave a little smile, and near enough forgot it at once. The warm night, the churring, the rustle, it rocked you off to sleep. And then you heard the counting rhyme. Not loud, quiet outside, over by the square, a child's voice, level, without expression, as though not even singing, just counting off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A pause, and footsteps on the brick path, the herringbone one. Slow. Someone walking from the square towards the cabins, going into the first, not yours, the far one, past the wall. You can hear the empty springs creaking there, one touched, then another, as though looking under every bunk, searching, then out again, walking on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ready or not, here I come. And here you understand one simple, warm, drowsy thing. You're not afraid. Truly, it's only a game after all. An old children's game that goes on by itself, round and round, every night. The seeker comes out from under the star and walks the cabins, looking for the ones he never found 100 years ago. It doesn't concern you. You're not playing. You're only lying in your sleeping bag, listening to a stranger's game, long since played out, wandering the yard. Lie still. Don't get up. That rule on the crossbar, it's there for a reason. As long as you're in the cabin, as long as you've not stepped over the threshold, you're outside the game. You were never written into the rhyme. The seeker will look into your cabin too, touch the springs, pass by your bunk in the dark, and not see you. Because you never hid. And the ones who never hid, he doesn't come looking for. The footsteps came nearer, came into your cabin. The first springs creaked by the door. The second, the third. He's coming along the bunks towards you. You lie there, eyes shut, breathing evenly, like a sleeper. 1, 2, 3. He's at your bunk. He stooped down. You feel the warm night air shift a little, as though someone small had bent to look under the bottom tier, stood a moment, and walked on, past, towards the door. Didn't find you. It isn't you he's looking for. All's well. Lie still. And you'd have held out till morning. Honest to goodness you would. There'd been plenty like you. Ones who came in, heard the rhyme, lay quiet till dawn and went off home, and told their friends afterwards about the creepy camp where someone walks about at night. You'd have lived through it too, if not for one small thing. You wanted to look, that's all. To hear the seeker step out of the cabin into the yard and raise yourself up on one elbow and glance through the broken window. What's he like? Who is it walking there under the star? Curiosity. And you got up so softly and set your feet down on the floor so carefully and came to the threshold, just to glance, just your nose past the door. One step over the threshold, onto the warm brick path, under the open summer sky, and the rhyme in the yard broke off. The churring stopped. The leaves went still. The whole warm night around you quietly, softly, held its breath. The way things hold their breath when the seeker has turned and is about to catch sight of someone. Because now there stood in the yard someone who hadn't been there before, outside the cabin, not hidden. You. You stepped over the threshold, and by that very step you entered the game, wrote yourself into the rhyme, became one of those who can be found. And the seeker, why, he'd been waiting all night for just this. 100 years he'd waited for someone at last to come out and be counted. From the dark by the square, from the faded star, level and without expression it came. To you alone, for the first time all night, truly to you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Found you. No cry, no lunge from the dark. Nothing leapt out. Only the warm air of the yard closed softly over, and the churring came back, and the leaves rustled on as though nothing had happened. Only you, in the doorway, were no longer there. The game had taken you, tagged you. You're the seeker now. And ever since, it's you. It's you now who comes out each night from under the star, takes your forehead from the warm brick wall, and goes along the herringbone path from cabin to cabin, touching the empty springs, looking under the bottom bunks, searching for the ones they never finished counting long ago. Searching and searching, round after round, and they aren't there. They hid well, hid 100 years since. You frighten no one, you only count. Level, without expression, rocking them to sleep. The way they once counted you. So, lie a while. Listen a little longer. If some warm July night you hear, out in the yard, a quiet child's voice and slow steps on the brick and the empty springs creaking, you already know what to do. Lie still. Breathe evenly. Don't get up. Don't look. No one's looking for you, so long as you've not stepped out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ready or not, here I come. But you, sleep now, and don't come out. Look, here I am. Here's my face in the dark screen, and here's the graveyard behind me. I'm filming it on purpose so you can see it all. Night, a warm one, a summer night, grass up to my waist, and I'm here on my own. Don't be afraid for me. I'm keeping quiet. I'm just talking into the camera, low, under my breath, so it isn't so hollow for me in all this stillness. And the stillness here, it's complete. Not a dog, not a car far off. Only the grass hushing when I walk, and the mist lying along the ground up to my knees, as though someone spilled milk between the little fenced plots. I'll tell you straight away why I came. Not for anything frightening, not to scare you and not to be scared. I'm looking for my granddad's grave. He died. He died a long time ago now, and I never once came. Not to the funeral, not after. There was never the time. It was always tomorrow, always tomorrow. And the village is far, and I'm busy, and he won't mind, will he? He's my granddad. And here I am. At night. Because in the daytime, I'm ashamed. In the daytime, there are people. but at night it's only me and him. Only I don't know where his grave is, do you see? So many years away that I've forgotten the place. So here I am, walking, shining my phone over the ovals, over the photographs. Everyone here has a photograph on the headstone. Enamel ones, oval, faces looking out from under the glass. All strangers. Not him, not him, not him. Oh, wait. Do you see it? Over there, deep in between the crosses, a little light. Small, warm, like a grave lamp burning, like a candle. A yellow little thing, alive. I'll turn the camera that way, catch it. Do you see? So someone's little lamp. So I'm not quite alone out here. So there's a living person nearby, come to visit their own as well. I'll go and ask. Maybe they're local. Maybe they knew my granddad. Maybe they'll tell me where. I'm walking to it. Through the grass, stepped over a little fence. It's close now, just there, an arm's reach, behind that headstone. A warm little light, a kind one. You don't even get frightened of a living flame. Strange. I came up to it, and it seems to have carried itself further off. There it is now, behind the next cross. I must have imagined it. The mist plays tricks on the eyes. I'll walk on. Again, look at the screen. Look, I'm not lying to you. There it is, the little light, and here I am. I take a step toward it, and it's already a step further. It drew back, quietly, deeper in, between the graves. It doesn't go out, doesn't flicker. It just waits for me a little further along. Waits, gently, as though it's calling. Come here. I'm over here. You know, I suppose I ought to be frightened. In my head, I understand. I ought to be. A little light that moves away when you go to it. That's wrong. That doesn't happen. And I'm not afraid. I'm warm somehow. It isn't unkind, this light. I can feel it off him. It isn't unkind. It's leading me, and I'm going. I follow it deeper and deeper. The little fences are old, leaning, benches inside them. That's how it is here. People come to sit with their own, to be quiet a while. Plastic flowers, faded already, pink ones and blue. A little chapel showing white in the distance, its small dome. Quiet. And the light ahead, step by step, warm, calling. I walk and I talk to my granddad, out loud. Don't you laugh at me, talking into the empty air. Granddad, I say, forgive me for not coming. Forgive me for leaving you to die on your own, while no time, things to do. What things, Granddad? I don't remember those things, not one of them. But that I never held you goodbye, that I remember. Every day, right here, he sits right here in me. The little light stopped. For the first time in all of it, it didn't step back. It stands, waiting for me where it is. I come closer, slowly, and it doesn't move away anymore. It lets me come right up. It's over a grave, over one single grave, warm, steady, as though a grave lamp really had been lit. I shine my phone on the headstone, on the oval. My hands are shaking. Forgive me, the picture's jumping. It's him, Granddad. His photograph, his face under the glass, enamel, faded a little, but him. It's him. I'd know him out of 1,000. And his eyes, looking at me the way the living look, out from under the little oval glass. Not with reproach. That's what's strange. Not looking with reproach. Warmly. The way he looked at me as a boy, when I'd come to him in the summer and he'd meet me off the bus. The little light was leading me to him, not to frighten me, not to drown me in the mist, but simply so that I'd find him, so that I'd get to him at last, after all these years. He knew I'd never find it myself. I'd forgotten. I'd lost it. So he lit himself and led me and walked a step ahead, warm, patient, until he'd brought me home. To Granddad. I sit down, right in the grass, by the little fence, down onto the ground. I'll rest the camera on my knee. You watch it as it comes. Hello, Granddad. Here I am. I came. Late, I know. 12 years late, a whole life late. But I came, didn't I? I'd never have found you myself. I was led to you. Was that you, then, who led me? It must have been you. And do you know what I feel? Not fear. It's letting go of me. Right now, this very moment, while I sit here in the warm grass under his oval photograph, it's letting go. The thing that's pressed on me 12 years. That stone, the one right here, in my chest. Forgive me, Granddad. I never left you in my heart. I carried you every day. I was only afraid to come. And now I've come. And you aren't angry. I can see it. You aren't angry. The little light has gone softer. It isn't drawing back anywhere now. It just hangs over the grave, steady, warm, like a real grave lamp. And it's as though it's burning lower, calmer. It's done its work, brought me here, and it's ready to go out. Not sharply, quietly, like a candle that's been carried all the way to its place. And now you can let it go. I feel so peaceful, you know? I haven't felt so peaceful in a long time. Years. The grass is warm, the mist is soft, and Granddad's beside me, and everything between us is set at last. Everything I couldn't for 12 years. I've said it. I'll sit here a while longer, I think. Sit till the light comes, with him. When I turn the camera off, it won't be because I'm frightened. The other way around. Because this is only ours now, his and mine, Granddad's and mine, not for the screen. You understand, don't you? You've seen the main thing. A kind light led me here. Don't be afraid of little lights like that. Maybe it's one of your own, waiting for you, calling you, unable to let go until you come, and the two of you forgive each other. That's all, my dears. Thank you for being here with me. The little light over Granddad's photograph trembled, warm, one last time, and quietly went out. And it was so peaceful. There's an old notice board at the way into the town. Glazed under a little tin roof, its blue paint flaking. They put one up by every club once, and bits of paper still hang on it. Faded, gone soft from the rains, but you can still read them. Let's read them in order, top to bottom, from the oldest down to the newest. Softly, in no hurry, the way you sort through old receipts before bed. Because these bits of paper show you everything. How the town lived, how it emptied, and how the green quietly took it. The top one, the most faded of all. 12 March, to all residents. Owing to the closure of the pit, the hot water to the houses on Miners Street will be cut off. The administration. An ordinary notice. The pit closed, and the town began to go dark, the way a house goes dark window by window as people lie down to sleep. Folk began to drift away, some to the city, some to their children, some anywhere at all. A rustle. Under the porch of an abandoned house, something shifted apart in the earth. And it's growing. But no one was looking at that back then. The next one down. 30 April. To all leaving. Book your removal container at the office by Friday. Hand your flat keys to the warden. Anyone who doesn't, leave them in the door. The block's coming down anyway. They left whole stairwells at a time. By May, there were 2 or 3 lit windows to a block in the 5-story blocks. Of an evening, the square with its monument stood empty, and the wind chased the poplar fluff across it. And between the paving slabs, where they used to sweep, the first grass came through. No one weeded it. There was no one. The next one down. 17 June. The last bus to the district town now runs on Tuesdays. Timetable on the post by the shop. The shop stays open as long as there's someone to serve. You see how it thins out? No longer residents, now whoever's left. And by June, the grass had come up to your knee. It rose out of every seam at once, out of the cracks in the tarmac, from under the curbs, out of the cellar windows. Young birches stood on the roofs, in the drain pipes, in the cage of the rusted pit headframe that reached up over the town at the edge of the sky. The town was sinking slowly into the green, the way a spoon sinks into thick honey. A rustle. The grass had shifted the tarmac apart right by the notice board. And it's growing. The next one down. And here the hand changes, written now by hand in pencil. September 3rd. There are 7 of us left. We gather on Wednesdays at the club, light the stove, drink tea. Come along, whoever's still here. Don't sit alone in your flats. Valentina Petrovna, the library. 7 in the whole town. Old folk who wouldn't leave, who'd nowhere to go, who'd grown into the place. They'd come together in the cold house of culture, under the peeling slogan on the gable end. Glory to the labor of the miners, the letters already deep in ivy, and warm themselves together. And do you know what Valentina Petrovna wrote after that? That the club had somehow become nice, warm, even when the stove wasn't lit, warm all the same. It smelled of earth and mushrooms, sweet, like a cellar full of apples. And you slept there wonderfully. The next one down. The same pencil, but the letters larger now, softer. 19 October. You've no cause to fear staying. It's good here. Quiet. No one drives you out, no one hurries you. The green doesn't wither for the winter. The other way, it thickens. At night, you can hear it growing. And it's so sweet to fall asleep to that rustle. Stay. Everyone stayed here. Everyone stayed here. A strange thing to say, isn't it? When nearly all of them had left. But there it stands on the paper, in an even, kindly hand. Everyone stayed here. A rustle. Beneath the floor of the club, something shifted apart, soft, alive, and it's growing. The next one down. The hand is no longer Valentina Petrovna's, another, younger, but every bit as calm. November 7th. Whoever's still driving by, don't hurry past. Turn in. No need to light the stove. The house warms itself. The roots run warm right under the bed, and if you lie down and keep still, they'll gently take hold of your feet, then your knees, and then you'll not want to be anywhere else. And it isn't frightening. It's like being tucked under the blanket as a child. Stay the night. In the morning, you'll understand. Here, if you've not drifted off yet, hold on a moment. Because from now on, it's the town itself writing the notices, not the people. The people, by then, had stayed. Every last one. They lay down under the warm roots, let the green wind about their feet, their knees, let the growth come up through their sleep, and they stayed. Not died, just stayed. Warm, sleeping, grown in, content. The growth beneath the town, it's one growth for all of them, a single thing, alive. It doesn't tear, doesn't press, it draws you to stay. It holds you and it rocks you to sleep. And the one it's taken in its arms doesn't want to get up anymore. Why would he? It's good here. Everyone stayed here. The next one down. And here's the last notice that hangs together, in a stranger's hand, hurried, not so sleepy as the ones before. December 24th. My name is... Never mind. My car stalled on the main road, and I turned off into the town to wait out the blizzard. It's empty here, and green even in winter. I went into the club, where it's dry and warm, and lay down on the plank bed. And I almost stayed. I'm writing this so as not to forget that you mustn't stay. Listen to him. He's the only one who wrote against it. He lay down on the plank bed in the warm house of culture and slept like the dead, for the first time in years without dreams, deep, sweet. And he woke because his feet had gone warm and close. Thin, pale roots had come out of the cracks in the bed and wound about his boots, soft, tender, like fingers. Below the floor ran a quiet rustle, the growth breathing, spreading, reaching up towards him. And in his head stood a calm, warm voice, not fearful, but kind. Stay. Where would you go? Out into the frost. It's good here. Everyone stayed here. Lie back down, let it hold you, and nothing will ache anymore. And he very nearly lay back. His body wouldn't get up. It was resting already, warm and sweet, and the little roots at his feet were warming them like woolen socks. One more minute, and he'd have grown in, like Valentina Petrovna, like the 7 in the club, like all of them. He'd have become one more bit of paper on the board, calling in the next one. But he remembered. The car. The road. Something out there, beyond the town, that he had to get to. And he tore his feet free, quietly, without a cry, just tore them free. And the roots gave way easily, almost hurt, as though tender fingers had unclasped. He stood, swaying. He got to the door. At every step the green caught at his soles, softly, coaxing. Stay, where are you going? A rustle. The grass closed over behind him, growing his footprints shut. And it's growing. He came out onto the square in the blue dusk, past the monument deep in ivy, past the notice board, past the dark 5-story blocks with their birches on the roofs. The blizzard had settled. Out beyond the edge of the town, the car started on the 3rd try, and he drove away without looking back, his hands still shaking on the wheel, his feet still remembering the warmth of those little roots. And the whole way he was drawn to turn back, to lie down, to finish the sleep. But he didn't turn back. He came out onto the main road, to the lights, to people, and only there, many miles off, did it let him go. He didn't beat the town, he simply left. A quiet sort of relief, not gladness, more like a breath let out when you finally surfaced from water too deep and too warm. Alive. not grown in, his own.
And behind him the town closed its green over the cooling plank bed, smoothed the flattened grass, healed the mark shut. And it went quiet again in the dusk, warm, green, patient. It's in no hurry. It knows how to wait. A rustle. Under the old notice board, something shifted apart in the earth. And it's growing. And it waits for the next one to turn off and wait out the blizzard.